am Marianne from EFAB Art, and a gallery once charged me double what a piece was actually worth. Same artist, same caliber of work, and I had no idea it was happening because I didn't know what I didn't know, and they knew I didn't know, and that gap was the entire business model. I've been thinking about that moment a lot lately because it's the reason I do what I do now, and it's the reason I want to walk you through what actually happens inside the art market, why prices are so disconnected from quality, and what a first-time collector needs to understand before they ever walk into a gallery and hand over their money. Let's start with the thing nobody in the gallery world wants you to understand. Price does not equal quality. That sounds obvious when you say it out loud. But when you're standing in front of a beautifully lit wall in a pristine white room and someone hands you a glass of wine and tells you this artist is exceptional, your brain starts doing something very specific. It starts looking for signals that confirm the price, the lighting, the framing, the confident posture of the gallerist, the other pieces next to it. All of it is designed to make the number feel earned. Here's what was actually inside that number: overhead, prestige signaling, and information asymmetry. The gallery had information I didn't have, and they were being paid to keep it that way. A same caliber piece, and I mean genuinely same caliber, not pretty good for the price. I mean work that will hold and appreciate and live on a wall with the same power. Bought close to the source can cost between $25,000 and $50,000. The piece I was looking at was $150,000. The difference wasn't quality. It was the number of hands the work passed through before it got to me, and how much each hand took along the way. Primary dealer, secondary dealer, consignment fee, commission, prestige tax. By the time it reached that white wall, the art was almost incidental. So, what do you actually do with that information? The first thing is this: develop the eye before you develop the budget. The collectors I respect most did not start collecting because something was famous. They didn't start because a gallerist told them to want it. They started by standing in front of enough work, auctions, open studios, degree shows, art fairs, museum collections, that they eventually trained their eye to feel the difference between something that is just aesthetically pleasing and something that is genuinely alive. There is a difference. You can feel it, but you have to put in the hours. That training is free. It costs you time and curiosity, not money. The second thing, ask hard questions before you ask about price. Who is this artist? Where have they shown? What's their exhibition history? Is this work documented? Meaning, is there a certificate of authenticity, a record of provenance, a clear paper trail from the studio to you? What does the secondary market look like for their work? Have any pieces resold, and at what relative value? A gallerist who is worth your trust will answer all of those questions clearly and without hesitation. A gallerist who pivots to enthusiasm and adjectives when you ask about documentation is giving you information too, just not the kind they intend to. The third thing, and this is the one that took me longest to internalize: buy what you love with your eyes open. Those two things are not in conflict. You can be rigorous about due diligence and still stand in front of something and feel it. In fact, the best collections are built exactly that way. Intellectual clarity and genuine emotional response together, not one at the expense of the other. The collections that hold, the ones that grow in value and in meaning over decades, are almost always built by people who were both emotionally present and technically informed. They knew what they were looking at. They asked the hard questions. They demanded documentation, and then they bought what they loved. Those are the collectors who never have the moment I had. That moment of realizing the gap between what you paid and what you paid for, and understanding that someone on the other side of the transaction knew the gap was there and chose not to close it. Now, I want to be honest with you. The art market is not going to reform itself out of the goodness of its heart. The information asymmetry is structural. It is baked into how galleries operate, how auction houses build their estimates, how the whole ecosystem is incentivized. That is not going to change because collectors wish it would, What can change is how prepared you are when you walk into that room. You can walk in having done your research. You can walk in knowing the questions to ask.